The weight of disrespect in our lives. Let's face it, disrespect is one of the most insidious and emotionally draining challenges we encounter in life. Whether it comes from a colleague who consistently interrupts you during meetings, a friend who belittles your achievements, or even a family member who dismisses your feelings, disrespect has a way of burrowing deep into our psyche. It shakes our confidence, makes us question our worth, and leaves us feeling small and powerless. But here's the truth. You don't have to tolerate disrespect. No matter how ingrained the behavior of others may seem, no matter how much they try to diminish your value, the power to change the dynamic lies within you. You deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and dignity. And if someone can't offer that, it's not your responsibility to endure their negativity. In this article, I'm going to take you on a deep dive into 8 powerful strategies for handling people who don't respect you. These aren't just surface-level tips. They're rooted in Stoic philosophy, real-life experience, and actionable advice designed to help you reclaim your power. Each strategy will explore not only what to do, but also why it works and how to implement it effectively. By the end of this piece, you'll have a comprehensive toolkit to handle disrespect in any context, whether it's at work, in your personal relationships, or even within your own family. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's get started. 1. Set clear boundaries, the foundation of self-respect. Boundaries are the invisible lines we draw around ourselves to protect our emotional, mental, and physical well-being. They define what is acceptable and what isn't when it comes to how others treat us. Unfortunately, many of us struggle with setting boundaries because we fear conflict, rejection, or being perceived as difficult. But here's the harsh reality. If you don't set boundaries, people will naturally push past them. Why boundaries matter? When you fail to establish clear boundaries, you essentially give others permission to treat you however they please. This doesn't mean you're weak. It simply means you haven't communicated your limits. And guess what? Most people won't intuitively know where those limits are unless you tell them. For example, a coworker might assume it's okay to interrupt you constantly because you've never said otherwise. A friend might think it's fine to make sarcastic comments about your appearance because you laugh along instead of addressing it. A family member might repeatedly invade your privacy because you've never explicitly told them it bothers you. The longer you stay silent, the more entrenched these behaviors become. Setting boundaries isn't about being confrontational. It's about respecting yourself enough to communicate your needs clearly. How to set boundaries effectively. Setting boundaries requires both clarity and consistency. Here's how to do it step by step. Identify your limits. Reflect on situations where you feel disrespected or uncomfortable. What specific behaviors cross the line for you? Write them down so you can articulate them later. Communicate calmly and assertively. When addressing someone, use I statements to express your feelings without sounding accusatory. For example, instead of saying, "You always interrupt me," try, "I feel disrespected when I'm interrupted while speaking." Instead of saying, "Stop making fun of me," try, "I don't appreciate jokes about my weight. It makes me uncomfortable." Be consistent. Once you've set a boundary, enforce it every time. If you let someone violate your boundaries occasionally, they'll assume it's negotiable. Prepare for pushback. Some people may resist your boundaries, especially if they're used to getting away with certain behaviors. Stay firm and remind yourself that your self-respect is non-negotiable. Real-life example. A few years ago, I worked with a colleague who had a habit of dismissing my ideas in team meetings. At first, I brushed it off, thinking maybe I hadn't explained myself clearly enough. But over time, his dismissive attitude began to chip away at my confidence. Finally, I decided to address the issue directly. During our next meeting, after he interrupted me yet again, I calmly said, "I noticed you cut me off before I finished my point. My input is important to me, and I'd appreciate it if you allowed me to complete my thoughts." To my surprise, he apologized and became more mindful moving forward. That single moment of assertiveness transformed our working relationship and taught me the importance of standing up for myself. 2. Don't engage in power struggles. Rise above the drama. One of the biggest mistakes we make when dealing with disrespectful people is engaging in power struggles. These individuals thrive on drama. They want to provoke you, make you react emotionally, and pull you into their chaotic world. But here's the thing, you don't have to play their game. Understanding power dynamics. Disrespectful people often use manipulation, criticism, or outright hostility to gain control over a situation. Their goal is to destabilize you emotionally, leaving you feeling frustrated, angry, or defeated. By reacting impulsively, whether it's snapping back, defending yourself excessively, or trying to win the argument, you inadvertently give them exactly what they want, power over your emotions. The Stoic approach. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control external events, but we can control our reactions to them. As Marcus Aurelius famously said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When someone disrespects you, focus on maintaining your composure rather than retaliating. Here's how. Pause before reacting. Take a deep breath and count to 5 before responding. This gives you time to process your emotions and respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Use neutral language. Avoid inflammatory words or accusations. Stick to calm, factual statements. For example, instead of yelling, "Why are you always so rude?" say, "Your tone feels aggressive and it's making this conversation difficult." Disengage when necessary. If the other person refuses to engage constructively, walk away. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Why rising above works? When you refuse to engage in power struggles, you rob disrespectful people of their ammunition. They expect you to lose your cool, argue back, or crumble under pressure. By staying composed, you send a powerful message. Their behavior doesn't affect you. Over time, they'll realize they can't manipulate you, and they may stop trying altogether. 3. Limit your exposure to toxic people. Protect your energy. While setting boundaries and avoiding power struggles are crucial, sometimes the best solution is simply limiting your exposure to toxic individuals. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your time, energy, and emotional bandwidth. The impact of toxic relationships. Toxic people drain your vitality. They sap your confidence, create unnecessary drama, and leave you feeling emotionally exhausted. Even if you can't completely cut ties with certain individuals, like coworkers or family members, you can minimize their influence by controlling how much interaction you allow. Strategies for limiting exposure. Here are some practical ways to reduce contact with disrespectful people. Set time limits. If you must interact with a toxic individual, schedule short, focused interactions. For example, keep conversations with a difficult coworker strictly professional and brief. Avoid unnecessary engagement. Don't participate in activities or discussions that invite negativity. If a friend loves gossiping about others, politely excuse yourself from those conversations. Create physical distance. Whenever possible, put literal space between yourself and toxic people. Work from home occasionally, sit farther away in meetings, or choose different social settings. Surround yourself with positivity. Spend more time with supportive, uplifting people who reinforce your worth. Their positivity will act as a buffer against negativity. Personal reflection. Early in my career, I worked closely with a manager whose constant criticism left me feeling demoralized. Initially, I tried to prove myself by working harder and seeking approval, but nothing seemed to satisfy him. Eventually, I realized I needed to protect my mental health. I started limiting our one-on-one interactions, focusing on delivering results rather than seeking validation, and leaning on colleagues who appreciated my contributions. While I couldn't avoid him entirely, reducing my exposure significantly improved my outlook and performance. 4. Respond with silence. The power of saying nothing. One of the most profound ways to handle disrespect is by responding with silence. It's counterintuitive, I know. When someone disrespects you, your instinct might be to defend yourself, argue back, or explain why they're wrong. But here's the thing, not every battle is worth fighting, and not every rude comment deserves a reply. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. Why silence works? Disrespectful people often thrive on reactions. They want to provoke you, make you lose your cool, or drag you into an argument. When you respond emotionally, whether it's anger, frustration, or defensiveness, you're giving them exactly what they want, control over your emotions. By staying silent, you deny them that satisfaction. Silence forces the other person to sit with their own words and actions. It creates an uncomfortable void that they must fill, often leaving them questioning whether they've crossed a line. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Responding with silence allows you to rise above the negativity and maintain your dignity. How to use silence effectively. Pause before reacting. When someone disrespects you, take a deep breath and resist the urge to respond immediately. This gives you time to assess the situation and decide whether a response is even necessary. Let their words hang in the air. If someone makes a disrespectful comment, don't rush to defend yourself. Simply let the moment pass without engaging. For example, if a coworker says something snarky about your work, smile politely and move on without acknowledging their remark. If a friend makes a hurtful joke, stay quiet and let the awkwardness settle. Chances are, they'll realize their mistake on their own. Use silence strategically. In some cases, silence can serve as a powerful statement. For instance, if someone interrupts you during a meeting, simply stop talking and look at them calmly. This nonverbal cue can be more impactful than any verbal response. A personal lesson. I once had a colleague who loved making sarcastic comments about my ideas during team meetings. At first, I felt compelled to defend myself, which only fueled his behavior. Then one day, I decided to try something different. When he made another snide remark, I simply paused, smiled, and said nothing. The room fell silent, and he looked visibly uncomfortable. Over time, his comments became less frequent because he realized he wasn't getting the reaction he craved. Silence truly can be your greatest weapon. 5. Stop taking it personally. Detach yourself from their behavior. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to internalize it and feel like it's a reflection of your worth. You might start questioning yourself. Did I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? But here's the truth. Their disrespect says more about them than it does about you. Understanding the root of disrespect. People who disrespect others often do so out of their own insecurities, frustrations, or unresolved issues. Their behavior is a projection of their inner turmoil, not a judgment of your character. For example, a boss who belittles you may feel threatened by your competence. A friend who mocks you might be struggling with their own self-esteem. A family member who dismisses your feelings may have unresolved emotional baggage. Once you recognize that their actions are not about you, it becomes easier to detach emotionally and avoid taking things personally. How to stop internalizing disrespect. Shift your perspective. Instead of viewing disrespect as a personal attack, see it as a reflection of the other person's character. Remind yourself, this isn't about me, it's about them. Practice emotional detachment. When someone disrespects you, imagine placing their words in a mental box and setting it aside. This helps you separate your emotions from their behavior. Focus on what you can control. You can't change how others treat you, but you can control how you react. Choose to respond with grace and confidence rather than letting their negativity affect you. An eye-opening realization. There was a time when I would obsess over every critical comment or dismissive gesture, convinced it was a reflection of my flaws. But then I realized something profound. The people who disrespected me were often the ones with the most unresolved issues. Once I stopped internalizing their behavior, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. Their disrespect no longer defined me. It revealed them. 6. Walk away when necessary. Choosing yourself over drama. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to walk away. Staying in a toxic environment where your worth is constantly questioned can erode your self-esteem and drain your energy. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness. It's a declaration of self-worth. Why walking away matters. Walking away sends a clear message. I refuse to be treated this way. It's about protecting your peace and prioritizing your mental health. While it may feel like you're giving up or letting them win, the reality is quite the opposite. By removing yourself from a disrespectful situation, You're choosing yourself, and that's never a loss. How to walk away gracefully. Assess the situation. Determine whether walking away is the best option. Is the relationship worth salvaging, or is it beyond repair? Communicate your decision. If possible, explain why you're stepping back. For example, to a friend, I value our friendship, but I can't continue being around negativity. To a coworker, I prefer to keep our interactions strictly professional moving forward. Set boundaries moving forward. Walking away doesn't mean burning bridges entirely. It means setting limits on how much influence someone has over your life. A liberating experience. I once had a friendship that turned toxic. No matter how much I try to mend things, the other person consistently undermined me. Finally, I decided to step back. At first, I worried I was abandoning the relationship, but over time, I realized I was freeing myself. Walking away gave me space to focus on relationships that truly uplifted me, and I emerged stronger and more confident. 7. Surround yourself with supportive people, building a positive circle. Dealing with disrespect is exhausting, especially if it feels like you're going through it alone. That's why surrounding yourself with supportive, uplifting people is essential for maintaining your mental and emotional well-being. The importance of a strong support system. A strong support system acts as a buffer against negativity. When you're surrounded by people who genuinely care about you, it becomes easier to handle disrespect because you know you're valued and loved. These individuals remind you of your worth and empower you to stand firm against mistreatment. How to build a supportive network. Identify positive influences. Reflect on the people in your life who uplift and encourage you. Spend more time with them. Distance yourself from toxic relationships. Let go of friendships or connections that drain your energy or make you feel small. Seek out like-minded individuals. Join communities, clubs, or groups where you can connect with people who share your values and interests. The impact of supportive relationships. When I faced disrespect early in my career, my close circle of friends and family became my lifeline. They listened without judgment, offered encouragement, and reminded me that I deserved better. Their unwavering support gave me the courage to walk away from toxic situations and set boundaries with confidence. Surrounding yourself with positive influences not only boosts your self-esteem, but also reinforces the idea that you deserve respect and kindness. Final thoughts. Respect starts within. Handling disrespect isn't easy, but the way you respond defines your self-worth. Remember, how people treat you says more about them than it does about you. But how you react says everything about the level of respect you have for yourself. Whether you choose to set boundaries, walk away, or surround yourself with supportive people, the power is in your hands. You deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and dignity. If someone can't offer that, it's your responsibility to protect your peace. So the next time you encounter disrespect, remember these tools. Stand tall, set your boundaries, and always choose yourself. Thank you for reading. If you found these insights helpful, share them with someone who might need a reminder of their own power and worth. Together, let's build a community of respect, strength, and mutual support. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and remember, respect starts from within. 8. Surround yourself with supportive people, building a shield against negativity. Dealing with disrespect becomes infinitely easier when you have a strong support system around you. Toxic people drain your energy and leave you feeling isolated, but supportive individuals can act as a buffer against negativity. They remind you of your worth, uplift your spirit, and provide the encouragement you need to stand firm in the face of disrespect. Why supportive relationships matter. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mindset and self-esteem. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those 5 people are constantly criticizing or belittling you, it's only natural to start doubting yourself. On the other hand, if they're kind, respectful, and encouraging, you'll feel empowered to demand the same from others. Supportive relationships also serve as a reality check. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to internalize their behavior and question your value. But when you have friends or family who genuinely care about you, they'll remind you that their disrespect isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their character. How to build a supportive network. Identify positive influences. Take stock of the people in your life. Who makes you feel valued and respected? Spend more time with them. Distance yourself from toxic relationships. It's not always easy to let go of toxic friendships or connections, but it's necessary for your well-being. If someone consistently undermines you, it's time to create distance. Seek out like-minded individuals. Join communities, clubs, or groups where you can connect with people who share your values and interests. Whether it's a book club, a fitness class, or a professional network, these environments often attract positive, like-minded individuals. Be open about your needs. Don't be afraid to communicate your needs to your support system. Let them know when you're struggling and need encouragement or advice. A personal reflection. There was a time in my life when I felt overwhelmed by negativity. Every interaction with a certain group of acquaintances left me feeling drained and undervalued. Then, I made a conscious decision to surround myself with people who uplifted me instead. I joined a local volunteer group where I met individuals who shared my passion for helping others. These new friendships became a source of strength and inspiration. They reminded me that I deserved respect and kindness, and gave me the confidence to walk away from toxic relationships. 9. Practice self-reflection, strengthening your inner resilience. While much of handling disrespect involves external actions, like setting boundaries or walking away, it's equally important to look inward. Practicing self-reflection allows you to understand your triggers, strengthen your emotional resilience, and ensure that you're not inadvertently contributing to the dynamic. Why self-reflection matters. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for personal growth. It helps you identify patterns in your interactions and recognize areas where you might be vulnerable to disrespect. For example, are you overly accommodating, making it easy for others to take advantage of you? Do you struggle to assert yourself because you fear conflict or rejection? Are there unresolved insecurities that make you more sensitive to criticism? By addressing these internal factors, you can build the confidence and clarity needed to handle disrespect effectively. How to practice self-reflection. Set aside time for reflection. Dedicate a few minutes each day to reflect on your interactions. Ask yourself, how did I feel during and after the conversation? Did I communicate my needs clearly? Could I have handled the situation differently? Journal your thoughts. Writing down your reflections can help you process emotions and gain perspective. For example, jot down moments when you felt disrespected and analyze why it affected you so deeply. Seek feedback from trusted friends. Sometimes we're blind to our own behaviors. Ask a trusted friend or mentor for honest feedback about how you handle conflicts or set boundaries. Work on self-improvement. Use your reflections to identify areas for growth. For instance, if you realize you struggle with assertiveness, practice speaking up in low-stakes situations. A transformative experience. I once had a habit of avoiding confrontation at all costs. I thought I was being nice, but in reality, I was enabling disrespectful behavior. Through self-reflection, I realized that my fear of conflict was rooted in a deeper insecurity. I worried that standing up for myself would make others dislike me. Once I acknowledged this, I began working on building my confidence. I started small, like politely declining unreasonable requests or expressing my opinion in group settings. Over time, I became more comfortable asserting myself, and the dynamic of my relationships improved dramatically. Final thoughts. Respect starts within. Handling disrespect isn't just about managing external relationships. It's also about cultivating inner strength and self-awareness. From setting clear boundaries and surrounding yourself with supportive people to practicing self-reflection and walking away when necessary, each strategy empowers you to reclaim your power and demand the respect you deserve. Remember, how people treat you says more about them than it does about you. But how you react says everything about the level of respect you have for yourself. You deserve to be treated with kindness, dignity, and respect. If someone can't offer that, it's your responsibility to protect your peace. Thank you for reading. If you found these insights helpful, share them with someone who might need a reminder of their own power and worth. Together, Let's build a community of respect, strength, and mutual support. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and remember, respect starts from within.